Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Three-Piece Podcast, brought to you by Zeus Fire and Security, where our mission is to protect people, property, and profits. I'm your host, Scott Elkins. Today's episode is a very special one because it marks the beginning of an exciting new chapter for Zeus. Since launching Zeus in 2022, we've built something truly special together. We've grown from an idea into one of the nation's leading fire protection, security, and life safety companies. In fact, today, Zeus ranks as the 8th largest company in our industry by revenue and the 11th largest by recurring monthly revenue. We've welcomed outstanding businesses to the Zeus family, expanded into new markets, invested in our people and technology, and most importantly, built an incredible culture grounded in our core values. One of the greatest responsibilities I have as a founder and CEO is ensuring the organization is positioned to thrive for years to come. As Zeus continued to grow, the board of directors, Access Holdings, and I have spent considerable time planning for Zeus's next chapter and ensuring we have the very best leadership in place to build on the incredible momentum we've created. And that's what today's conversation is all about. I am excited to welcome Michael Cox, our new Chief Executive Officer, to the studio and, more importantly, to the Zeus family. Mike brings tremendous experience leading and scaling businesses very similar to ours. But what impressed me just as much is how well he aligns with our culture, our values, and our unwavering commitment to our people and our customers. As part of this transition, I've been named Executive Chairman of Zeus and will continue serving on our board of directors. While Mike will lead the day-to-day execution of our business, my focus will shift toward helping shape Zeus's long-term strategic direction while continuing to drive our vision, strengthen industry partnerships, identify new opportunities for growth, and help ensure Zeus remains a modern and enduring industry leader for years to come. This new role allows me to spend even more time focused on where our company and our industry are headed and on helping position Zeus to lead that future. Mike, welcome to the Zeus family. I'm excited to have you here. Congratulations on your new role.
Oh, thank you very much, Scott. It's great to be here. I appreciate it.
And I see you got the memo in the blue suit.
Blue suit, lapel pin. I think I'm in.
We're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
It's a great day one.
Yeah.
So speaking of day one, people are going to have a lot of questions like, who's Mike Cox?
Right.
I'd love to hear, Mike, a little bit of your journey from a younger Mike Cox to where you are today as the new CEO of Zeus Fire and Security.
Yeah, I'm happy to share. It's a little bit unorthodox, but I'll walk you through it a little. As you and I have talked before, our backgrounds aren't too dissimilar. So I think it sometimes resonates differently with people. But look, I grew up in rural part of South Carolina, lived in a single-wide trailer for many, many years in a blue-collar family. My dad repaired phones when they used to have phones on the wall. My mom worked as a shipping clerk. I'm the only sibling or only person in my family to go to college. Pretty humble beginnings. We did graduate to a double-wide trailer, which I thought was a big deal. It's literally twice the size. So that's probably where I started. I was not the greatest student in school.
We have that in common, too.
We have that in common, yeah. I fumbled through high school, if you will. I applied to one school and got in. Still to this day unclear how, but I did. And went to college, not quite sure what I wanted to do, if college was for me or not. It wasn't. I made it through about 2 semesters. I was loading beer trucks at night to pay for it, and missed the memo that you got to go to class more often than you don't.
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty important.
It's a pretty important part of it, they said. And so I left school. Actually, they left me and sent me home. And that's when I kind of found my way. I joined the Navy, which I think was, we all look back on our lives and find a kind of an inflection point when things really kind of took off for me. And
so directionally, what year is this? You joined the Navy?
I'm probably hit 20 years old.
Okay.
And I'm still kind of, I was delivering flowers before I joined the Navy.
Wow.
And I joined the Navy for effectively a slice of pizza. I drove my roommate up as he was in the Navy delayed entry program. He said he'd give me $5 for gas. Next thing I know, I'm holding my hand out saying I solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution.
Wow.
Because a recruiter came out in the parking lot and offered me pizza.
Wow.
And when you're broke 20-year-olds delivering flowers,
pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, I knew I needed to do something. There had to be a step change somewhere, and the Navy absolutely provided it for me. And so I joined the Navy, got stationed on the West Coast on a ship. Lo and behold, another big moment in your life happens. SEAL Team 5 is out there deploying. I watch these guys jumping around, doing what they do. And I actually got to talk to one of them and said, man, how is it to be on this SEAL team thing? And, how do I do that? He said, are you a good swimmer? I said, I can't swim a lick. Like, I barely could swim 50 yards at best. He said, well, it's kind of a prerequisite. And he actually gave me some better advice. He said, everybody wants to be in the SEAL teams, which is great, but there's this little unknown team that people kind of overlook, and it's called the underwater construction teams. He said, if I had to do it all over, I'd go that route because you can learn a trade and a skill that's transferable in the civilian sector. Well, that was enough for me, so I ran down that group. So I spent the next 2 years learning how to swim, prepare, went to Navy dive school, went to underwater construction school. The whole process takes about 18 months to 2 years. 80% of the guys that go to the class fail. So I started with 80 people and 17 graduated.
Wow.
There are only 150 UCT divers in the entire military. So it was a very small group. I spent the next 10 years at the UCTs. It was incredible. It taught me leadership, teamwork, strengthened my core values, and really was a catalyst for where I would go in the rest of my life. At some point, the Navy said, hey, we'd love for you to go back to school, give it a go. Sent me back. I got my undergraduate, and then later on went to Michigan State for my master's in strategy.
I guess you went to class at this point?
I started figuring out the class thing is pretty important.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Citadel Military College for my MBA. So I picked up on what I maybe had dropped to use. But I always say back, it was really the military that kind of gave me focus and direction. And it was what I needed in my life, and I took advantage of it and tried to turn it into something positive.
Yeah, so, we talk a lot about core values. You and I have had a lot of conversations over the past, nearly 6 months?
Yeah.
And, the Zeus core values of people first, better together, grit, and integrity. I think those are all very common in the military, right?
Very common. I mean, they're woven into what you do every day, and I learned it as part of the UCTs, where we had 15 guys that went all around the world together, and everything that you've built here at Zeus is part of that same kind of makeup that I've learned. So when you and I started talking some months ago, it became natural. It became almost fit, like you were talking my language that resonated with me, which is why I've been so eager to come join such a established and well-positioned company.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. This is a pretty good time to talk about the military presence that exists at Zeus. Almost 11% of our entire workforce are veterans. And we find that the veteran community understands leadership, mission, values, the benefit of hard work, the types of qualities and values that are difficult to find. And that group of Zeus employees is one of the most important groups we have within our entire organization. 1,200 employees strong. That slightly smaller group helps drive this business. A lot of the same ways that you've talked about.
Yeah, no, it's always good to hear that, right? I mean, as a veteran, but getting to work with other veterans is just the height of my job anywhere I've been. So it's good to hear that Zeus values that and puts it at that level. I think it's important.
For sure. So Gabe Garcia, who this is day one for you. You haven't met Gabe yet, but Gabe Garcia, who's our vice president of operations, also a veteran of the military, met his wife in the military as well. Gabe brought the notion of challenge coins to Zeus. You and I have talked about this a bit.
Right.
But about 6 months ago, Gabe presented me with a unique challenge coin that the CEO of the organization could give out to the rare few that earned the right to receive it. And you know how important challenge coins are. Not only from military to military, I am not military, but I am honored that Gabe created this challenge coin made for the CEO of Zeus Fire and Security, numbered on the back, talks about our armed services as well as the Zeus core values. And on behalf of Zeus Fire and Security, I'd like to present this to you.
Oh, thank you very much. That's well, Gabe's got it right. Challenge coins are extremely powerful and personal. So I appreciate this, and it means a lot. And what a great gift on day one. So
For
thank
sure.
you very much.
So what made you leave the military? I mean, lots of folks after 10 years would make it a career.
Yeah, I hit 13, and that's kind of the stay or go moment you have to reflect on. But, it's a tough life in the UCTs. Yes, it's a rock star lifestyle, and you get to travel around the world, which is great, but you do it with 15 guys. But there's a home life you sacrifice for that.
Yeah.
And I deployed pretty much 9 months out of the year.
Wow.
I looked up one day and I had two boys, my wife and I, which, she's been the rock of our family forever, and 2 boys that, I just wanted to be dad.
Yeah.
And people said, what are you going to do when you leave the Navy? I said, I think I'm just going to coach third base at T-ball. And that's really what I drove behind, and I've been fortunate enough to be an active part of their lives ever since, and I don't regret it for a minute. At some point, you have to put the rock star lifestyle behind you and prioritize, and that's what I did.
I love it. So it's a big gap between third base coach and CEO of Zeus Fire and Security. Would love to hear a little bit about what got you to bridge the gap.
Yeah, so as I had won some awards in the military, like a lot of veterans do, so that wasn't super special, but it did get attention. And so I was able to convert that into the civilian sector, and I started with a company called Brand Energy, and they build scaffold and insulation in the industrial space. Now, mind you, I don't know anything about scaffold. Mm-hmm. We didn't use it underwater. It wasn't part of my life. And so I got hired to be the general manager of a branch up in Detroit. That's what led me up north. Mm-hmm. And so I go there. It's completely lawless. It's no ownership, and business had fallen from 24 million to down 10 million of revenue.
Wow.
I often asked them, like, why did you hire me? Because I don't know anything about this business. And they said, because you had the one thing we can't find all the time, which is leadership. Mm-hmm. So we structured the business the right way, and that was my first opportunity to convert from a civilian or from military to civilian. Got promoted to run the Southeast for that company, and I got about 5 or 6 branches underneath me. So now I'm starting to get a little experience. Mm-hmm. I still don't know a whole lot. Yeah. I'm still fumbling around, but I'm starting to learn as I go. Continued to work my way up like a lot of people work, from regional manager to vice president to then eventually president and COO of a company, and then 2-time CEO. One time for a publicly traded company out of Europe called Billfinger. Mm-hmm. Took over the U.S. business, which was failing. We were losing about $3 million a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
We got that thing turned around as a team. And then I made my move into private equity and joined Crete United, which really reminds me a lot of Zeus in the early days. Crete at the time was about $250 million company, had done some really good acquisitions and done good M&A. It still hadn't grown up all the way yet, but then we eventually got that over the next 2.5 years to about $1.2 billion in revenue, and really kind of built a nice business there.
That's an amazing story. $300 million and $1.2 billion. It's also really great that you've got that experience to say, hey, what does that next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years look like for Zeus Fire and Security? So what interested you most about this opportunity?
Well, I think, one, what you have built here, the foundation was there. I say the bones of the business are there, the foundation's there, the culture, you could feel it even from an outsider looking in. It was very easy to identify that the foundation has been set the right way. From my perspective, it's not that it was going to come into a situation like I had to in Billfinger, where we had to completely rebuild the organization. This was an opportunity to enhance an organization, which, if you're going to pick between the two, you take enhance over restructure all day long. And I think looking at the industry, looking at the opportunities in this industry going forward, this is an industry that will evolve with technology, not be undermined by technology.
Yeah.
And I think that was the opportunity for me to say, look, I can come in. I've been to the top of the mountain, seen what it looks like. I'm going to come back and hopefully bring those lessons and skills to the team, and then take what you've already built and take it to the next level. I mean, who wouldn't take that opportunity? No. I mean, when someone offers you a ride on a rocket ship, you just take it. You don't ask what seat. You just take it.
Well, that's awesome. So we've built a great business to date. Zeus has been in existence now since its birth for just over 4 years, 4 years and 4 months. Have grown into the 8th largest company in the industry by revenue. Of course, the 11th by recurring revenue. But it feels to me like we're just getting started. The opportunities for our team and our people seem endless to me. And I'm curious, from a leadership standpoint, how do you view just opportunities? We have 1,200 employees today. With this growth that you and I both know is going to happen, how does it work for the rest of our group?
Yeah, I think the beautiful thing about growth, it creates opportunities for everyone. And the jobs that you have today, or maybe the structure you see today, won't look the same in a year, 2 years, or 3 years. There'll be jobs that get created because of growth and allow people to move around in the organization, move up, move laterally, explore new opportunities. It's almost hard to put that on paper for people to let them see that. But it really is what happens with growth like this. And I think people should be excited that you won't have to leave a Zeus to grow. You just stay within a growing company, you can grow significantly. And I think that's what's always exciting, to see people just develop. As they develop, the organization breathes and it grows and it develops. And I think that's the most important thing. Look, at the end of the day, these businesses like this, and Zeus is obviously modeled already, is backed by good people.
Yeah.
You can have all the strategy you want, you can have all the, but good people make the nucleus and the core foundation of it. And if you can do that and continue to invest in those people, you can scale the organization.
Yeah, so culture, right? People first, better together. We talk a lot about we're better when we're together, that we can only do this as a team. I think that speaks to your leadership style.
It does. It's, teamwork. I learned it the hard way in the military, and you learn real quick that if you think you're important to someone, everyone's home and let's see what happens. Right? You won't get very far. So if you can build a team, and my job is not to be the team, is to lead the team, and that's much different than a lot of people may think about it. But I'm here to enhance and develop and grow. And if I can do that as a CEO, we're all winning.
We have about 1,200 employees that are going to be really curious about your leadership style. What would you want them to know? I mean, this is your introduction. What would you tell them?
Well, I think, for me, I'm grounded in 3 things: clarity, simplicity, and people. I think when you can give people real clear instruction, direction, you can keep it simple, not overly complicated. Look, I'm not a highly educated guy in that respect, but I like to keep things simple. And then invest in people. And I think as long as you're doing that, good things will come from those 3 working together. I'm not a yeller or screamer, but I do have high standards. And I set high standards for an organization, and I refuse to lower the bar to meet poor performance.
Yeah.
I believe Zeus has the foundation and the right mindset to raise their expectations to hit the high bar. And when they get to that bar, we're going to move that bar a little bit further. That's what makes a great organization. And whether it's sports or business, you can study them all. And when you see that expectation and people rising, that's what drives the business. And so, yes, I make no excuses or no apologies for high expectations, but I also think it's incredibly important. Can you help people get there?
Yeah. I love it. I think our leadership styles sync up, as we talked about before, pretty well. And I think the team is going to be incredibly excited to get to work with you, more than for you, but with you, to help continue to grow the business.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be some exciting times.
Yeah, me as well. So, Mike, starting today, you're CEO of Zeus Fire and Security. I moved to the role of executive chairman. How do you see us working together? I think people will be interested in that.
Well, I think it's a great question, and it's certainly going to be on everyone's mind, so we should just talk about it. I think this is a perfect scenario where you take someone with your industry knowledge, you built this place, right? And then you give them the opportunity to go out and do what you do best, which is know the market, help chart out our future. Then I can help align with that and apply that strategy inside the house. Many companies don't have the benefit of 2 strong leaders coming in and doing something like that together. So I think this is a situation where working together, we can create a really powerful Zeus in the market, right? And that really gives us an advantage. And we should see this relationship as an advantage.
Yeah.
I don't see it anything other than that if we continue to do what we've been talking about the whole time, which is work as a team. I think you've said it best, 1 and 1 equals 3 in this situation. And I think we're going to catch a lot of people napping and really sneak up on them.
Yeah, numbers 10 on the RMR list and number 7 on the revenue list ought to be paying attention.
They will be after today, yes.
There's no doubt. So I love the notion of 1 + 1 = 3, because I think that's what we're truly building. Mm-hmm. It's important for me to thank the Zeus leadership team, all 1,200 of our employees, and everybody that helped make this organization special. As you all know, it's not you, it's not me, it's our teams that actually do the lion's share of the work to make this company special. And since that magical day on February 22nd of 2022, this team has done just that. I know that they're going to continue to do that with you, and with us working together, I see us as unstoppable.
Yeah, look, I'm fully committed to doing what's right for the business, and I'm also humble enough to come ask you, what am I missing? Should I know? I'm not anywhere near the expert you are in fire and security. So I feel great advantage to having someone like you sitting there where I can ask questions and be a soundboard to and help me kind of navigate the business for the future. Not just for 2-3 years, but for 5 to 10 years down the road is where my vision is for the business.
Yeah, and I love the way you said that. Access Holdings, our private equity sponsors, talks about building modern and enduring businesses. And it's not just about building a great business today or in 2 years or 3 years, but I want Zeus to endure. I want it to be modern and enduring for a decade, for 2 decades. I'd love to be driving around 20 years from now and see Zeus Fire and Security or Zeus Fire and Security hub stickers over every commercial facility in the country.
Yeah, what a great idea to be driving through town and point to the building and say 20, 30 years from now, I used to work there.
That's right.
I had a hand in that. I think that's incredibly rewarding. And you don't find that in a lot of industries, but you find it here at Zeus, and I think that's what drew me to this opportunity.
So tell me about the notion of succession planning, because I know a lot of companies talk about it. At Zeus, we take it very, very seriously. As you know, this decision was based on and grounded in the notion of what does the company look like in the future, and to ensure we had the right succession in place for our future growth. How do you feel about succession planning, which is really, in some ways, people could look at it and say, you're just bringing on your replacement. I've never viewed it that way. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think you and I started talking long before, and we didn't know where the conversation was going to take us. And I think we looked at it as who's the best fit for what role and how do we get the best team. I'm on day one, and I'm already behind on succession planning, right? We have to be thinking about the organization in 2 ways. Where's it going to be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Do we have the right talent, the right seats? The biggest crime a leader can commit is to hold someone back because you haven't prepared a succession plan.
Yeah.
If you have someone in this organization who's ready for the next opportunity and we're holding them back because they're too valuable in that, then we have failed as leaders to put someone in place behind them to let them step up. And I think I look at it as from now here on out, we always have to be looking forward because we're going to grow. Will we get to $1 billion, $2 billion? Time will tell. But we're going to be bigger and stronger than we are today, and we need to go ahead and load up with talent. I'm a big sports fan, and I know Philly is a big sports city, so I'm happy to be involved in that now. But I think if you look at any successful sports team, sometimes they win because they have more athletes, more talent than the other team. They're not smarter, they're just deeper. And I think that you can take that into business. If we can have the best talent at all levels, we create a succession, but we also create momentum and energy and talent that just no one can match. So that's my vision.
I love it. So let's actually unpack that a little bit. You're going to be out in the field pretty soon, introducing yourself in person to all of our employees. How should they feel about you showing up and your message? Give us a little sneak peek into what that looks like.
Yeah, I think my message, we're going to dial it in. I want to listen first. I'm not coming here with a pre-baked plan that we're going to go turn hard corners left and right. I want to spend the first 60 days just really taking in the organization best I can. Obviously, continue to talk to you, continue to learn from everyone. I have to ask 100 questions. It's not because I'm probing. I just don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I need to learn. And so I need that from the organization. And as I start to digest things, I think we'll be able to come out with a more well-thought-out plan of where we're going to go. Zeus is a good company. It's been built well. There is no dire straight need to take a radical right turn tomorrow. We need to be thoughtful and deliberate about how we go forward so that we can get the best outcomes. How should people think about it? I'm just a kid that grew up in South Carolina in a trailer. Talk to me that way. Just talk to me straight. I will ask questions. If you have something on your mind, just talk to me straight. I think sometimes the CEO title can, as you know, can get in the way of good conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Just leave it at the door. And if you don't like something, tell me. If you think you're really happy about something, tell me that as well. I will take all that in, process it, and come up kind of with an idea. But I just want people to be genuine and just, treat me like Mike, not the CEO.
Yeah, so one of the things that clicked for us right away, I think humility, low ego, and a huge desire to win.
Yeah, you don't deliver flowers for a living and have a big ego.
Yeah.
I think you have to dial it back a little bit. And I learned that a long time ago. Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
My wife always told me. I remember the first time I went home and said, "Hey, I got promoted to CEO." Her answer was, "You need to take the trash out."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You didn't hear me." She goes, "I did, but at home you're not the CEO.
Yeah.
The trash needs to be out for tomorrow." And I think I've always carried that as, sometimes you're just not as important as you think you are. But
that's a fact.
We have responsibilities and we have, job to do, but I want to hear from everyone. So I ask when I come out there, just be open and candid with me, and I'll process it as I need to.
That's great. So, Mike, I am so excited for you. I'm so excited for Zeus. I know this is just day one. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of energy and enthusiasm around this. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of questions that people have. We've always been an open book here at Zeus, and I know you carry that same philosophy. Mm-hmm. That means people can reach you at your email address, by your cell phone, via text. We remain an open book company, and we want people to tell us how they feel, because without it, we don't know what we can do.
I agree. I think transparency is critically important to scaling an organization because of what you just said. There's going to be so many things going about and changes here and there potentially, and even small changes can have a ripple effect. And right now, we all just need to take a moment, realize everyone involved is going through change. Yeah. Zeus, you personally, me personally, we're all going through this. So we just need to over-communicate right now, ask questions, don't let the rumor mill kick up. And I think as long as we do that, we can navigate this, out the gate. But I'm committed to being transparent about what we need to get done and where we're going, how we're going to do it. I would just ask for the same thing. I say it in my opening with the ELT. I'm asking the organization to lend me your trust until I've had time to earn it.
Yeah.
And I will help earn that by my actions. And that's really where I'm at. Lend me the Zeus trust. I will promise to take care of it, and we will do the right things for the organization.
So, Mike, when we're talking about Crete, you had mentioned that it's a similar type of build as Zeus. That means you partner with a lot of entrepreneurs that ultimately were acquired by Crete and integrated into the business. We've done the same. How do you feel about, or should we think about this notion of partnering with other companies like the 11 amazing hubs that we have today?
Yeah, we ultimately partnered with 55 different local operations. Wow. And I think that the growth of it was driven a lot by M&A, but also organic growth became extremely popular and powerful for us. And it was because we never squashed the entrepreneurial spirit that we acquired. And I think that's important in these types of businesses. I'm amazed, always amazed, by these individuals who took a risk to build a company. Sometimes the stories, I just think they're amazing how one truck over time to 2 to 3 to 4 trucks, or inherited second and third generation to build it. It's an incredible story, and there's a lot of risk associated with that. But there's also a lot of pride in those logos and how they go forward. So I think going forward now, we want to harness that entrepreneurial spirit, cascade best practices, lessons learned, and help everyone rise together in this new Zeus network. And I think that's how you unlock that organic growth that we saw. And I think you can do it again here, but it's all built off trusting those local hub presidents and those local leaders. They know their markets. They know what works. We're here to enhance that, not to strip it down and make it corporate. We're here to enhance it.
Yeah, and I think the evidence of that is in our house of brand strategy. We've partnered with businesses that are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old with important names in their local markets. Mm-hmm. And without those names that created and built that business, we're not as powerful a company as we are today.
I think when you take what you've done and you just cascade it forward, you take a Gallagher, a Zeus company. That's a powerful statement because now you're part of a bigger network, a broader brand, but you didn't lose that Gallagher or alarm type mojo that you had. That's what built it. And that, candidly, that's what Zeus acquired. So why would we want to disrupt that? But you do have to connect it into the bigger platform, the bigger grouping of companies, and have a shared strategy and a shared philosophy of how you go to market, which is the secret sauce to creating a bigger Zeus. And I think that's where we are as a company. We're at an inflection point where we have to start to weave that message through the hubs so that we can create a bigger organization.
While maintaining their, we'll say, customer-facing autonomy.
Local identity, Hawaii's different from St. Louis. St. Louis isn't Chicago, so there's still some local flavor that you have to keep.
Sure.
And it's important not to lose sight of that. But I think that's the balance. And the good businesses like Zeus and some others who master that, they outscale and outpace everyone. And I think that's where hopefully I bring to the table, having seen that already, we can bring that here and kind of replicate it again.
That's great. So, Mike, let's do a lightning round to let everyone just get to know you just a little bit better, maybe at a little more personal level.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Favorite food?
I'm a cheeseburger connoisseur.
All right.
I love a good cheeseburger.
Where's the best cheeseburger?
Mobile, Alabama has a place called the Brick Pit, and it has the hands-down best cheeseburger. It's simple, not fluffed up like you see at a gourmet burger. Simple cheeseburger.
All right. First concert you ever attended?
Metallica. Horrible experience. Sound like the same song for 2 hours. It was not. I'm a country boy, country music, grew up on it. My friend had an extra ticket, took me. We were 3 rows back. I thought my head would explode.
All right. So that rolls right in. I love country music. Who's your favorite country music band or artist?
I like Eric Church.
Okay.
I might go all the way back to Johnny Cash. I'm a bit older, so every gambit of it, I like it all.
Mike, how about your favorite book? You know I'm an avid reader. Favorite book?
I'm an avid reader as well. You and I had dinner over this. The book, A Day for Leadership, I think is exceptional. And if you're a leader and you want to build your team, it's almost like a book of case studies for that. So I couldn't recommend that one more. And
I read it based on your recommendation. Deep military connection in that book. Phenomenal book.
Yeah, it's about D-Day and all the lessons you can learn. And what's great about it is it has questions at the end of each section that you can use with your team. I think it's a phenomenal book.
Yeah, it's a great book. You and I are cut from the same cloth. Spent a lot of time working, a lot of hours. But when you do get that special downtime, not going to go family just yet, but when you do get that special downtime, what does Mike Cox like to do?
Wow, it's changed a lot as I got older. I used to be into triathlons and things like that. Then I moved into photography, and I would say now, wow, it's a tough. I don't get as much free time as you can relate to, but I still like to get a good run, swim. I don't know if I'm biking as much as I used to, hit the weights, that kind of thing. So. Yeah, I'd say trying to stay fit at my age. I'm getting a little older, so it's more important.
I understand that. Yeah. And maybe most importantly, not maybe, but absolutely most importantly, tell us a little about your family. I know how important they are.
It's a better part of me, for sure. I've been married to the same woman for 26 years. How, I don't know, but I definitely have made 2 good decisions in my life. 1, join the Navy, and 2, marry my wife. So those 2 resonate strong with me. And from there, we have 2 boys. One 26, graduated from University of Alabama, and one that is a senior, about to be a senior at the Arizona State University. So I think that's a little bit more time to get him off the payroll, but once I get him there, we'll be good. And then we're a big dog family, so my wife will tell you we have fur babies, and they seem to be, every time I leave town for a little while, that it multiplies, but...
How many do you have at home?
We have 4, and there may be a 5th by the time I get back, but I got to I'm keeping head count at this point, but that
fair enough.
So I like, work a lot, but when I have downtime, as much as I can spend with my family, it's valuable time.
I think we share that as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. Yeah,
for sure. Well, Mike, I think that is the perfect place for us to stop. Love the lapel pin. Love the fact that you're here. Love that we get to spend day one together and film this podcast in our beautiful podcast studio. And most importantly, love that you and I have an opportunity to work together to help do what we both want to do, which is help grow Zeus into the leading fire and security services business this industry has ever seen. And I know we're going to get there together.
I couldn't agree more.
Welcome to Zeus.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mike, thank you for spending time with us today. I know our team is looking forward to getting to know you, and I couldn't be more excited to partner with you as we lead Zeus into its next and exciting chapter. If there's one message we'd like everyone to take away from today's conversation, it's this. Our mission, our values, and our commitment to our people and our customers remain exactly the same. What is changing is our capacity to build an even stronger company for the future. Mike will lead the day-to-day execution of our business, while I'll be focused on helping shape our long-term vision, strategy, and growth. Together, alongside our incredible leadership team and more than 1,200 talented employees, we're committed to building a company that not only leads our industry, but helps define where our industry is headed. I've never been more optimistic about the future of Zeus. The momentum we've created is real. The opportunities ahead are tremendous, and I genuinely believe the very best chapters of our story are still waiting to be written. Thank you for listening to the 3Ps Podcast. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow Zeus Fire and Security on LinkedIn, and visit ZeusFireandSecurity.com for more stories and insights. Until next time, thank you for joining, and remember, at Zeus Fire and Security, we're better when we're together.